To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Good evening, everybody. It is 6:02. Sorry we started about a minute late, but better late than never, I guess. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Main Gate Magic. I am your host, Mr. Jason Braden, and with me is my lovely co-host, Miss Leia. How you doing this evening?
Hi, I am doing fantastic.
Good to have you on. Just the two of us tonight. I hope everybody's cool with that. I mean, not like you really got much of a choice.
Deal with it.
I know, it's just the two of us. Deal with it. All right, let's see who we have in the crowd tonight. So far, we just have Mr. Aiden Joseph Rogers. Good evening, Aiden. How are you doing today? It's good to have you on the show. I don't see Patricia in yet. I wonder if she's running a little bit late. She's our number one fan, and she is not. She's usually the first one that says hello, but maybe she'll join a little bit later, because I think she does tell me that she usually joins while she's on her way home listening in the car or something like that.
No.
We'll see. It is voting day. Did you vote?
I did.
You did.
Did you?
Awesome. We're not going to talk about who we voted for. That is everybody else's business. But I mean, I'm glad that you did. And I went to our polling station, or not our polling station. I went to like a little drop box, and there was lots of people pulling up and dropping their envelopes in last minute, just like me and Lisa were doing. So
most people are voting today, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a last minute thing to do. It's a long bunch of ballots to fill out this year. There was a lot of measures on the cards, and we had to do our research and make sure that we're checking the right boxes and everything before we actually made the decisions we wanted to make.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Aiden says, I am good. Glad to hear it. Thanks again for joining. I saw one other person joined. Whoever's in the chat now, don't be shy. Say hello. I don't know if you guys actually saw the thumbnail that I put on there, but today's episode is Anything Can Happen Day, and I did borrow that from the OG Mickey Mouse Club, because they did actually have a segment on the show that they talked about Anything Can Happen Day, and it was literally like a potpourri of just whatevers.
I love that.
Yeah, so I thought about that, and I talked to Lisa about it, and I'm like, oh, maybe we can make it like Disney potpourri, and I'm like thinking, oh, how do I spell potpourri? Is everybody else going to be able to understand what that word means? And I asked her, and she said, like anything Disney or something like that. And I'm like, oh, wait, as soon as she said the word anything, I remembered Anything Can Happen Day. So we kind of combined the best of the two worlds, and here we are.
You guys bounce off each other very well, you and Lisa.
Yeah, honestly, we do. When we are on the same page, it's scary how much our minds are connected.
I love that.
But that's, what you get for hanging around somebody for 22 years. Your minds kind of become one and the same. It's just the way it works. Now, we do have a little bit of news to discuss, but you know what? I am completely unprepared here. I didn't even have my notes up, so let me just kind of pull that up really quick. And we're going to do the topic episode. Okay, so let's see. Where are we at here? Let's go ahead and cue the intro for the news.
It's time for Main Gate Magic News.
It's time for the news, everybody. We got a few things to talk about here. Nothing really huge or special. I mean, mostly Disneyland stuff, and most of the time that I do news, it is Disneyland based. I can't help it. It's my home away from home, so sorry, Leia.
It's your
I know you
Neverland.
haven't been yet. Yeah, it is kind of like my Neverland, and I know you haven't been yet. But you know what? I can't wait till that day that you go.
I know, because I'm going with you guys.
Yeah, and then we can come back to the show and you're like, "Oh my god, yeah, I know, right?" And then you can actually say, "I've been there, I've done that. I can actually
Yeah.
give an opinion on it now."
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's coming up in the future episode.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of future episodes, there's so much to talk about as far as that's concerned as well. So let me try to get into the news first, and then we'll talk about all the stuff that I've been doing lately, and then fly off some just random topics here and there too if we get the chance to squeeze that in. So. Recap of the last episode, we talked about The Nightmare Before Christmas. That was a lot of fun. We had our good friend C. Andrew Nelson on, and he gave his 2 cents behind the scenes when he was doing the rotoscoping to refit the movie for 3D. We talked a lot about how that works, and also we talked a lot about stop motion animation. I think we kind of
That was fun.
we ran away with that a little bit, but it was fun still talking about the
Loved
process
it.
and everything. Yeah. And it was a good show. And speaking of The Nightmare Before Christmas, some of the news that I have is involving the Haunted Mansion, but I'll get to that in a little bit. And just the Haunted
Mm.
Mansion at Disneyland, because it is still under construction. It's driving me crazy. But I'm not going for a while, so I'm really hoping that it's going to be open by the time, or the rest of the queue will be open by the time we get there. So, speaking of things that have reopened, for those of you who did not know, the Disneyland Railroad was closed for a while. I think they were doing some track work in certain parts around the park, but it is now reopened. The New Orleans Square Station is still closed, and the walls are still up around Haunted Mansion, so they still stop at that station, but they don't let anybody on or off. It's all still closed, and then all the walls are still up where you normally see the Haunted Mansion queue. So, once you leave there, you travel through what's formerly the mountain formerly known as Splash, which is now Tiana's Bayou. And
Mm.
there used to be a section, or there is a section inside of the mountain that you can actually peek inside and see the grand finale, where everybody's singing and all the big animatronics are. I had thought that would be open at this point already because the ride is actually technically open-ish. I've been seeing videos, but the windows are not. They haven't taken the walls down around the windows, so you still can't see in. But the railroad is open. Get on it. It's a fun ride. It's so fun. It's just a neat way just to sit and relax for a while. Still no real update on the Haunted Mansion queue. And that's the disappointing news in this particular episode, because I keep looking. I keep looking to see, like, are they going to give us a date as far as when they're going to be done, because they are still doing construction in the middle of its opening. And
How long has
I
it
don't
been under construction?
only since the beginning of the year.
What? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I want to say that they actually closed it in February,
Holy
and
smokes.
they only reopened it to virtual queue only. I think up like around last month, sometime last month, they opened it up right before the Halloween stuff reopened, because they usually do the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, and I think they were
Yeah.
opening it up just in time for that. But and I can't remember if you've heard of what a virtual queue is, or anybody else listening who knows what a
No,
virtual
what is
queue is.
that?
So when you go to the park, there are certain rides that, because of capacity limitations or because of popularity, they might do what's called a virtual queue. The virtual queue is where you just go on the Disneyland app, you go in during a certain time, and you put your name into a queue. Once your name is in the queue, they give you a number, and once that number is called, you get like a little notification on your phone, and that's the time to go to the ride. And
Oh,
you if you're lucky, and if you're there for a really 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 long time, you might be able to go twice on the ride, but for the most part you're probably only getting on it once, which really really sucks. It's not a fun thing. And I hate to sound so negative about it, but I do get it, because the line queue is a lot shorter. They need to kind of control the flow of traffic, and it makes it for a little better experience, so that everybody has as much of a chance to get on there as possible.
yeah. So,
Um,
Jason, what are they doing on the Haunted Mansion? Like, what's all the remodeling? Do you know what they're doing?
Just yeah, it's just the queue. It's just the queue. There's like the inside
Oh,
of the ride. I feel like they made some changes during the closure for the year, but just more, just like better lighting, better animatronics maybe. It could just
okay.
be because of the overlay is the reason I may have noticed that, but um All that's being worked on right now is the outside queue, and then also there is a store being added where the exit queue is. So
Oh,
that's really it. So
that's a
that's
long time for construction. Like for
I know.
something not that big and yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I know. It's taken a long time. Now I let's see, what did I put in the news for that? Still no real so some are speculating that once the nightmare overlay is removed, which they typically do, I think in January, they're hoping that the construction will be done by then. Because when they reopen the ride, they'll hopefully be able to have the regular queue line, and then everybody will be able just to go on the ride as they used to. Others are saying if it's not open by then, they're probably thinking that it's just going to be, still in progress and it will be reopened in the spring. But this is all
Okay.
speculation. So there's no official word from Disney when they will have all the walls down, all the construction done, and the store open as well.
Yeah.
But other things that have been closed around it are starting to open up. Walls are coming down, which is great. We love it when we take down walls because
Yeah.
that way we get to see stuff that we haven't seen in a very long time or seeing stuff for the first time. Tiana's Bayou is partially open at Disneyland. They are doing cast member and AP previews only. If anybody knows, AP is like, I think it's called Associated Press, where certain people get invites to go on the ride. And I think there might even be cast members that are pulling people onto the ride as well
Oh,
and
that's cool.
letting them go on it. Yeah, I've seen some videos here and there of some YouTubers that are fairly well known enough to the point where they probably got an invitation to go on it.
Yeah.
And I am a spoiler kind of guy as far as rides are concerned. I like to watch the videos before I go on them. And it was it looked good. I think it really looked better than what I've seen in the Magic Kingdom because I think that the one at Disneyland is a little shorter. And that to me means they were able to make things fit in a smaller area, and that way there's not as many gaps in between animatronics and scenes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it seems like there's more to see, but really it's probably the same amount of things that you're seeing, just in a more compact or maybe smaller footprint within the mountain itself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so the opening itself of Tiana's Bayou is still scheduled for the 15th of this month now. Happy November, by the way, for everybody.
I know. Where did October
Halloween,
go?
I know, Halloween came and went, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden now people are buying and talking about Christmas stuff and Thanksgiving, and I don't even know where this year went. I think this year just flew by so
Yes,
far.
it
There's been
really
so much
did,
happening.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, wait, are we talking Disney Christmas song or are we talking
Oh,
just Christmas in
yeah,
general?
just Christmas in general. There's so many good ones.
Hmm. Let It Snow is a good one. And it's because I like to sing that
That's one
one.
of my favorites. Mhm.
Yeah, I can do it in a low register. And when I say it's my favorite, it's because I like to sing along with it. But
Yeah.
it's oh, the weather. It's like low. It's not like a way up here one, although you can pretty much go any direction with it. And
Yeah.
even though there's been a lot of controversy about it, I also like the Baby It's Cold Outside song that they throw
Oh
up on
my
Smule
gosh.
Sing every once in a while, where they kind of have the back and forth between the man and the
Yes, that's
woman.
one of my favorite ones. I've heard a lot of people get upset about that song, but I respect it. From my point of view, I never saw it that way. I saw it as she liked him just as much as he liked her. So I think
Yeah.
that I never got any vibes that it wasn't consensual. So
Yeah.
to each their
I
own.
was never, I
I
know, I was
love that
never really worried
duet.
about that. I think
Yeah.
it's a matter of, it's like, the more I watch Star Wars and the more that I, get lessons from the Jedis, the more that I think Obi-Wan was wise when he says, it all depends on your certain point of view, right? So,
Yeah, it's perspective.
if you've had bad experiences in the past, you might be thinking in a negative connotation about something like
Yeah,
that. But
I
if
respect
you
that.
just enjoy the holidays and you're all about the joy and the love and everything, then you're going to look at it in a different light. So
Yeah,
it
fireplace,
means,
coziness. Yeah.
yeah, it means
Yeah.
different things to different people. And there was, yes, of course, there was insinuating, lyrics in there, here and there, but it's still a fun song, and it's got some great what do you call them, harmonies in it and everything with the two, and it's a lot of
It's
fun.
such a
See,
good duet.
that makes me want to go back and sing it again. But
Me too.
what about you? You said you like Let It Snow, but what about you? What's your favorite?
Okay, Let It Snow is actually my favorite too. And also, I actually really love the mellowness, and it just feels like winter to me as the have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's just
Yeah,
so
that's another
pretty.
one you can do really low. See, you were like, you were more on the high register, and I'm like,
Yeah.
have yourself a merry little Christmas. You know, I
Pretty.
can go.
Yours sounds better because it's kind of in that register in the original.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, but you know what another fun one is? And I know we're getting off a topic here, but we said, hey, it's anything can
Anything
happen.
happens, yeah.
Right. Is I only knew about this song from watching Christmas Vacation, but it's Melikaliki Maka.
Wait, what's that? I don't know that one.
You haven't heard that one before?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's the Hawaiian Christmas song.
No, I've never heard that one.
Yeah. Melikaliki Maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
Oh, I love that.
That's the island
Good.
greeting that we send to you from a land where palm trees sway. If you
I
get a
love
chance
it.
to listen to it, it's really fun, and it's another one of the oldies, but it's the Hawaiian Christmas song. You know, you don't think of Christmas in Hawaii,
Yeah,
but
because no snow, but still. Oh, I'll have to
yeah,
listen to that. I love that.
you won't be able to get it out of your head when you hear it. It's so catchy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so back to the news here. What do we got left? So we talked about Tiana's Bayou. I said I think it's better than Magic Kingdom's version, and the official opening is on 11/15. So that's happening really soon, folks. You'll be able to ride it just like everybody else. No more Associated Press or cast member rides only. Speaking of walls down, we talked about that before. There, the walls around the secret path, and I'll talk to you about this when we go. But there is a secret path, and it's not really like super secret, but I'd say most of the people that go to Disneyland for the very first time, or maybe even just for the third or fourth time, they don't know about the secret path. It's kind of like a mixture of New Orleans Square and Critter Country. There's a path that goes right behind the Harbor Galley, which is like a little seafood place where you can get really delicious lobster rolls and clam chowder in a sourdough bowl. And right behind there, if you just keep following the path, there's another area back there that has some tables that you can sit at that hardly anybody is ever there. And
Oh,
I
I
mean,
love that.
I know that I'm kind of getting it out into the world now. I may have talked about it in a past episode, but I mean, hey, who's going to hear this, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, once you leave the table area, you can continue along the way, and the path actually opens back up into the main path that takes you over to the entrance of Tiana's Bayou. And there's this one neat place where you can kind of look over and you can see the people that have just come down the big hill and gotten themselves soaked from the big splashdown area. And you can just kind of look down and see all their reactions and everything. Most of the time it's always like, oh my God, I'm soaking wet, and oh geez, I'm drenched. So if you're not a water ride fan, it's a great place to stand and just watch people react to getting soaked.
I
Which
think
I could
it's really
do for
funny. It's like if you're going on a water ride like that, why are you shocked that you're wet?
Yeah, I know. I mean, and it's all the dynamics of that ride. Unless they've changed it since Splash Mountain, but I doubt it. If you're in the front row, or at least the first, like, I want to say like 3 or maybe 2 or 3 seats, you are gonna get soaked. Because not just from the water spraying up over the boat. I'm talking about the water that actually comes up over the front of the boat and just literally pours into the log that you're in. So your legs get soaked, your butt gets soaked. I mean, don't put anything in your pockets that you don't want to get wet. It's just going to happen, folks. It's just going to happen. But that's the reason I don't really like to go on water rides too much, is because I'm not a fan of just walking around and my feet going for the rest of the day.
Unless you want to be Donald Duck. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Then you might sound like that.
Jason, can you do Donald Duck?
No, I used to be able to do Donald Duck. Let's rephrase that because it sounds weird. I used to be able to impersonate Donald Duck,
There
um,
you go.
back in the day, but I don't know. Something changed, and I just, I can go like the
Oh,
like
that's
that,
good.
but
I've
that's
been
just
trying to sound like Donald, and I'm close. I'm on the cusp. It's like the you go with your cheek like
yeah. It's like a
like
it's this weird thing in your cheeks. I know. Yeah, we're getting some very strange sound bites here.
I love Donald Duck. He's so temperamental.
And old, too. He's 90 years old this year. I couldn't believe
No
that.
way.
Yes, way.
Uh,
Donald Duck is 90 years old. Oldest duck in the world.
one of my most beloved Disney things of all time is Donald Duck in Math Magic Land. I've seen that probably 20 plus times.
I don't know if I remember that particular one. In Math
Oh,
Magic Land, was it a black and white or was it in color by
it's in
then?
color and I think it's for free on YouTube. It's the most fun math video I've ever seen in my life. They just make it fun and Donald Duck is absolutely stupid when it comes to understanding math, so he's a good audience to like hear the concepts and it's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Um, all right, so back into the Walls Down area, the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. That's a mouthful. Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. Used to just be the Hungry Bear restaurant, but they've changed the name and they've also changed the menu. And from what I understand, the barbecue is delicious. And
Mm.
I definitely thought Disneyland needed some more barbecue places because they used to have the Big Thunder Ranch area where they had a barbecue place you could sit down on a picnic bench and get some barbecue food, some corn on the cob, some greens and stuff like that. It was really delicious. I
I
don't
bet.
think they have the same kind of menu at this one, but if anybody has ever been to California Adventure and they know where the Smoke Jumpers Grill is and they have that kind of barbecue, I think that's what it's the menu is kind of like now from what I've seen so far. Um, so anyway, that's open again. So there's lots more seating options up there as well, and it looks yummy. I can't wait to go down there and try it out. But I don't know when
That
I'm
is
going to be
good.
able to go next because our passes are good through May. I think May. Our Magic Keys. So once those expire, I don't know if we're renewing after that. But the problem is that our company announced that March through April. I think it's March, April. No, it's March through May. Uh, our vacation is going to be frozen.
Oh
We can't
no.
take any time off, unfortunately, because it's during the busy season. So even with my new position, even though I have more flexibility with my hours, they said nobody's taking any vacation at that point. So they've got the ball and chain on us, and we ain't going anywhere. So if we
Oh,
do go to Disneyland, it's either going to have to be sometime in January or February or in May, right before our passes expire. Hopefully, we can make it by then.
oh, I hope so.
Me too. Me too. Last thing on the Disney news agenda here is that Disney is having their earnings call on the 14th of this month, and basically all that means is they're going to be giving their announcement about their I think it's their fourth quarter. So this is going to be the annual fiscal results of their company. Find out how well they've been doing and how much money they've been making off of all of us paying them at the main gates. And the description of this particular call is they're saying it's a live audio Q&A webcast to discuss fiscal full year and fourth quarter 2024 financial results beginning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 a.m. Pacific on Thursday, November 14th. If you guys really want to know what's happening with Disney, you're going to have to get up awfully early depending on where you live and take a listen. And they're going to release results and post prepared written management remarks at www.disney.com/investors. And I think that's where you can actually listen in on the call as well. So if you guys are interested in
Wow.
that, that's where you need to go and figure out what's all happening with the Disney Corporation.
That's cool.
Last bit of news is in video games, which I am really, really looking forward to this. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the next Lucas. I think it's a Lucasfilm game, but because it's all under the Disney umbrella
Ooh.
now, or LucasArts game, and the release for that is on December 9th, and it's coming out on the December 9th for Xbox and PC only, but if you have a PlayStation, you got to wait until early spring of 2025.
What?
I happen
Oh
to,
my gosh.
yeah. They do that sometimes as like an exclusive to certain console owners. Sometimes the exclusive is to the PlayStation,
Mhm.
sometimes it's to the Xbox. I think it all depends on who they partner with, and they might have actually partnered with Microsoft because lots of PCs run off of Windows, which is run by Microsoft, and
Yeah.
Microsoft also controls Xbox. So
Oh,
I,
you're right. Yeah, I
I'm
forgot about
thinking
that.
that, yeah, I'm thinking Microsoft's got their claws in that a little bit, and that's the reason why it's an exclusive. But
Mhm.
it looks really good, and the actor that they got to do the voice for Indiana Jones sounds just like Harrison Ford. So, and
Oh,
it
I
looks
have
like,
to watch that. That sounds
yeah,
awesome.
it looks to be a very, very good, like one of the probably the best Indiana Jones games that I have seen at least trailers for ever since they started making Indiana Jones, which I've been playing since like the little 18-bit stuff on the computer. So, or 16-bit, I think is what it was.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds really fun. That would be a fun gameplay, like running from the rock
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have the whip, the pistol, and the hat and everything. It's all first person too, so you're gonna be doing it through the eyes of Indy. It's gonna be really neat.
Awesome.
What is up, Alex?
Hey,
Good to see you
Alexander.
on the show tonight. How you doing, buddy? If you think of anything that you want to talk about Disney related tonight, let's go ahead and throw it out there. We will drop it in and try to work it into our conversation. Now, here's the anything can happen part. So
Woo!
today we talked about voting day, right? And the topic for today's episode, and I was talking to Leia about this before we actually started the show. Uh, I was going to try to see if I could do politics in Disney movies, like what politics have been in Disney movies. But you know what? I mean, there's like politics in pretty much everything, especially when there's like kings and queens and prince and princesses and dukes and
Yes.
duchesses and I mean, even though that's royalty and it's still there's still politics involved, and I'm like that's just there's just too much. And I kind of thought, like, well, if I kind of went down that rabbit hole and started looking up all the stuff, which I did try to look up the specifics of politics in Disney movies, and it just that rabbit hole is very large, and I didn't really want to. I like the more I started researching it, the more I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want to talk about this after all. But I mean,
Yeah.
I know that there have been politics in some Disney. Like we were talking about it in the Nightmare Before Christmas last week, right? Where they
Yes.
have a mayor, and we talked about how funny he is that he's like, he's got two faces and everything, which of course makes
So
jokes about.
relatable to real life.
Right,
Very good play
exactly.
on.
Right. One side is, I'm kissing the babies, and the other side is I'm stealing the babies' lollipops, right?
Yes.
um and then the only other one that I could think of, actually, and I'm not sure how much you've seen this or if you have seen it, but have you ever watched Zootopia?
Oh, yes, lots of politics in that
Right?
one. I
Yeah, because
love that movie.
they've got the mayor, and they've got like the city council members and stuff like that. They've got a
Hmm.
police
The
department with a
police.
police chief,
Yeah,
all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And it turns out that there is some corruption that is happening within
Little
their
Lamb.
political system. Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, it's there has been politics in Disney besides kings and queens and stuff like that, and those are the two movies that I could think of. But what do you think about like politics being in Disney movies in general? I mean, I feel like if they keep it kid friendly like that, where they because one movie had Halloween mixed into it, and that made
Yeah.
it fun for the kids. The other movie had a bunch of animals, so it made it fun for the kids. But the adults are like, oh yeah, I see where they're going with that.
I think it actually, since it's something that when you grow up as an adult, it's like it's valuable to know about that. I think it actually can work really well tastefully in a Disney movie if done right, which I think those two did brilliantly.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, maybe like not too much, but yeah, I thought it was really good.
I
I'm
think
t-
so
the
too.
only other thing I could think like Kings and Queens was like the first Cinderella movie from the 50s when the
Hmm.
king isn't talking to the Duke and they're jumping on the bed and he's like, he must find a wife. And he's like talking about growing old and his son has to take over and very
Right?
political. Yeah, yeah.
It's out there and it's real. I mean, and I know that they try to put it in there every once in a while, but I don't see it as much because I think if they put too much of it in, even if it is still kid friendly, the kids are going to get bored.
Yeah, you have to do it in a entertaining way.
Yeah. Alex says I love that movie. I'm not sure if you're talking about Nightmare Before Christmas or Zootopia or both. Let me know in the comments. Let me know which one you were talking about.
Or
If it's
Cinderella.
one or Cinderella. Yeah, I don't think it's Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Cinderella, Cinderella, night and day, it's Cinderella. This is a
I'm
musical
exactly 5 minutes.
episode.
That's the time we begin it. I love that movie.
Hello, Leanne. Good to see you on the show. Thanks for jumping in
Hi.
and saying hi.
Hi, Leanne.
Um, what's next? Oh, dang. I was gonna talk about oh, he was saying like Zootopia. That's the one that he says that he really likes that movie.
Oh my
Good
God, I
choice.
love that movie.
There's
I
just
actually
so
just
much that happens in that movie too.
so much. I was just quoting the line from the sloths the other day.
Oh no.
Flash,
At the
flash, 100-yard
DMV?
dash. Nice to see you, buddy.
Yes.
Nice to see you too.
Too. And that was saying it fast.
Yeah.
I know. I just love his reaction when he tells the punchline for the joke. It's literally like ah ah
Yes, yes, very funny, very funny.
ah.
Hey, Dolores. No. It's funny. My brother
Yeah.
actually calls me Judy Hop because I have that same type of impatience. It's just like, come on, move, move, come on, let's hurry up.
I think I actually did. I don't know if I put it up for sale on my T-shirt store, but I think I actually made a, a flash T-shirt, and it's a picture of a sloth that looks remarkably like Flash.
No
I
way.
mean, a sloth is a sloth is a sloth, but it's an animated version of a sloth that somebody
Okay.
drew, and it was free art that came with my Canva subscription. And
Oh,
he's in
awesome.
he's in this like like yoga pose, right? And I put the little tie on him, like I put like a collar and a tie, just like he has at the DMV and everything.
Yeah.
And I think I just made it like say like Flash is my power animal or something like that,
Oh, I love that instead of spirit animal.
Yeah, actually, it's a power because he's just he's the man. He's just the man.
He's a
He can
fast
get.
driver. Yeah.
He's a fast driver. Is he really a fast? They didn't see him drive in the movie, did they?
They pulled him over at the end of the movie and he had like this huge, like fast race car and it was like an irony. Yeah, did
Shut
you ever
up.
see
Was that
that?
at the? Is that at the end credits?
Yeah, yeah, it's like you watch the credit. Oh, you're gonna get a kick out of it. And they
I'm
pull
gonna
him
have.
over.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch it. It's official. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the next Disney movie I'm watching. I don't mean I'll probably just fast forward it just so I can see it because I did
Yeah.
watch it fairly recently. Lisa loves that movie too. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
Um, let's see. Oh, I was gonna. That's right, because I was getting like on the topic of anything can happen, and I was gonna say like, what the hell I've been doing lately. So I have been busy, folks, and we have not much left in, I think, what I'm going to call season 1 of Main Gate Magic. Because the holidays are coming up, and I know people are busy, and I know there's not going to be as many people watching, hence today's episode where I think I have a total of maybe 2 or 3 people watching. I get more downloads from the audio stuff, I think, than I ever get viewers, but that's okay, because even if we're just reaching like 1 or 2 people on either platform, that's all I care about. That's the kind of
Yeah.
fun stuff I like to have happen. But I have been to a few conventions. I know I talked about a little bit about this on the last episode, but me and my buddy Andrew have been going to some conventions. We went to a MouseCon in Salt Lake City, Utah recently, and our buddy Jerry was out there as well, Jerry Cornell from themeparkology.com. And we've been meeting a lot of great new friends, recruiting a lot of great new people for adventurous ideas, and also recruiting some people to be special guests on Main Gate Magic. And I may have talked about the ones that were that I met in Utah, but I've got so many more even since then that have come up. So David Gonzalez is another actor from Star Wars universe, and I'm gonna pick your brains, folks. So see if you can remember this. When it is Return of the Jedi, which I think you said is that your favorite movie?
Absolutely. I
So
love that movie.
you
Yes.
might remember this. So when they are in Jabba's palace and the scene switches back into it, it's like nighttime and they're having their party and the band is singing, right?
Yes.
There was a guy like in a full makeup mask and he was banging these like big drums, right? And he was like the big drummer of the band. And I
Okay, I
think
can
that
kind of
was
picture that.
yeah, I think it was added during the special edition, but I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the original. I can't remember if he was in the original or if
Oh,
it was the special edition. But anyway, he is an actual taiko drummer, and when he comes to these conventions, he brings his gigantic drum and he
awesome.
lets people like, take the sticks and bang on them and stuff like that. And this thing is super super loud. But anyway, just a really nice gentleman. So we're gonna probably have him on one of our future shows. Um, I actually also got to meet Mr. Jim Cummings for the very first time at the Contra Costa Con in Concord, and that was a week ago Sunday. Now, Jim's an awesome guy. I got an autograph from him. I always try to contribute to their cause or whatever they're doing, and pay for an autograph the first time I meet them. And it's funny because I picked a picture that has Winnie the Pooh and Tigger on it, and I just said, I just need you to sign your name. If you wanted to put some funny little phrases or something like that, that's fine, but you don't need to
Yeah.
personalize it. So he signed his name next to Winnie the Pooh, and then he just started signing it on Tigger as well. And he's like, why am I signing this twice? Oh, I know, it's because sometimes I'm signing it for both characters for different people or like, something. I'm like, it's really okay. I mean, it's the picture's so nice you signed it twice, so
Yes. Oh my
I got that
gosh.
fun little story. Now, I would love to say that Jim is actually going to be on our show, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen because he does cost a little bit of money to make an appearance. So that will probably not happen. But he said he is interested in doing a voice for a character or two on Adventurous Ideas. So
Oh
you
my
and I might
goodness.
be working with him in the future. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, Jason, that'd be amazing. Does he know which one he was interested in? Which audio series?
No, no. I don't know specifically if Andrew told him about the different shows, but Andrew told me which show that he would be perfect for, and I will tell you. Um, well, yeah, I guess I could make it public. It's really not that big of a secret because I think we've done it at panels and stuff like that. The Adventures of Captain Sternbow.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like the children's book sort of story,
Oh
cartoonish,
yeah, Jerry
thing that we've
told
been
me
thinking
about
about.
that. Yeah.
We think he might be a really good fit for the captain himself.
Oh, he does
So
have a good eye mateys. He could have
yeah,
that gravelly.
totally,
Oh,
absolutely.
Jason, that's exciting. Oh my
I know,
goodness.
I
Jim is
know.
a
So
hero of mine. Like one thing I heard about him and it just completely warmed my heart is he'll regularly call the St. Jude's Cancer Hospital of Children
uh
and he'll
huh.
get on the phone with little kids as Winnie the Pooh or Tigger and he'll talk to them and he'll just make their day. I thought
That is
that
so
and he
amazing.
does it for free, he just wants to make their day and yeah.
Have you ever looked up the amount of voices that he has done for Disney?
Oh my gosh. I have not, but I know it's like insane.
It's in the hundreds. I know. I've heard
100?
somebody say it's almost 700 characters that he's voiced
What?
before. Yes, I know. I don't even know how that's possible, and I don't know if it's true. I haven't actually gone to verify it yet, but I kind of believe it because the more that I actually hear his voice and the more that I look into the movies as we do these episodes,
Mhm.
I see his name pop up everywhere. Like this
Wow.
person's voice and this person's voice by Jim. Sometimes in the credits of even an older Disney movie, you'll see his name in there, and it'll
Oh my
be for
goodness.
like two or three characters just for that movie alone, and that's just for movies. I know he's
Oh my
done stuff for
goodness.
television and commercials and stuff like that as well, and probably not just for Disney. I think he's just done many many voices like over the span of his career, and the
Yeah,
guy's just a
wasn't he
maniac.
Optimus Prime in the Transformers? Like Or
Uh,
am I thinking of somebody else?
no, that's
I'm thinking
oh
of a different
gosh.
voiceover actor.
It is a different guy, but I mean, I would kill to meet him someday. That would be awesome.
I'll know the name when you say it. I do know that Jim Cummings also did Anastasia. He was the singing voice of Rasputin. Christopher Lloyd was the talking voice, but he was the singing.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna find it really quick. Peter Cullen is the name of the gentleman who voices Optimus Prime.
Oh, never mind. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's been other people that have done the voice of Optimus Prime, but
Mhm.
he is the original one that had done it from the TV shows and the movie that was done in the 80s, and he's even the voice of Optimus Prime in the what do you call them, the Jerry Bruckheimer movies that were made with all the CGI and stuff like that. So
Very cool.
he
It's
is,
such a good voice. So
but
powerful.
he's got that like deep and rasp, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh God, it's like I wish I had that kind of a voice. Hey,
so
look who
good.
showed up! It's my father. What's up, Padre? How
Coyote.
you doing? He says he was trying to stay away from the computer because he doesn't want to see anything about the election.
It's funny.
Well, we were talking a little bit about politics earlier, but not real politics, just politics in Disney movies, of course. We got to keep it, relatable to the show, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are the people that I actually met from that particular show. Now, I was also at the MouseCon in Concord this past Sunday, and I need to pull up these names again because, gosh darn it, if I just didn't meet a lot of people and I don't want to mess anybody's names up.
Yeah.
Um, I had the honor of meeting Katie Von Till, and she is the current voice of Snow White for Disney. She does voices
So
for
cool.
her in the latest stuff. I think the latest one she did, or the one that she was talking about the most, was Snow White as a Lego character in a little, Disney Plus mini movie or something
Oh,
like that. And she loves it. She loves doing the voice. She is such a delight of a person, very bubbly, very, very energetic, and you can hear the character come from her just even speaking in her regular voice.
I was gonna ask you if her voice kind of already sounded like Snow White. I was curious
Yeah,
about that. Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
and she's so smart, and she's just. I mean, anyway, I quick side story. They had asked Jerry at the panel at MouseCon if he could moderate or help moderate her particular panel that they were going to have for that day. And for those of you who don't know what a panel is, if you've never been to a convention, please go to one because they're so much fun. The panels are basically when they get the celebrities up on stage and they talk about their career and their voice acting, or if they're an artist, about how they draw, and if they're a director, how they, make a movie and stuff like that. And then after they get to talk about themselves for a bit, there's usually a Q&A where the audience can start asking questions. Well, typically there's a moderator, which is somebody who just kind of keeps the conversation going. And I had never done it before, but I felt like, you know what? I'm kind of a moderator already
I was
by doing
thinking
a
that with the
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep
And
it
I'm like, hey,
going.
why the hell not? So I'm like, yeah, let's give it a shot. I'll be happy to. So I
Yeah.
met her ahead of time and we had the panel. There was a few questions right off the bat after she had finished giving her little intro spiel. Then I gave my intro because she just started talking right off the bat. I think she even started like 2 minutes early. Didn't even get like, like a, hey, okay, go for it. It was just like, okay, so hi, my name is Katie Von Till. And I'm like, okay, well, go. I mean, that's going to make my job easy. And
Yeah.
when the questions died down, she and I just started asking or talking to each other, and I was asking her questions back and forth. And then that kind of kicked off more people to ask questions. And we ended up filling the full, like, I don't know, like 50 minutes of the hour that we were available to be there. But I wanted to stop early because there was another panel right behind us. But it was
That's
so
so
much
cool,
fun.
Jason. Was she Snow White then in Wreck-It Ralph 2 when all the Disney princesses were together? Was she one
I
of?
asked her that exact question, and
Okay.
she was not,
She
unfortunately.
wasn't? Oh,
No,
okay.
they gave it to somebody else, and she actually told the story about how she was a little upset about that. But then she met the person who actually did the voice later on, and she admits like, oh, it's fine, everything's. I mean, it must have happened for a reason. This maybe was just your time
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But she's a total trooper about it, and she actually played it really well.
Oh, that's good.
Um, I think she does other voices as well. I'm trying to remember the one that she actually said. She did like this sort of like gruff. Oh, I want to say she was a voice in that movie How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
I want to say
okay.
she was like one of the younger. There was like a brother and a sister, and one of them kind of talked like this, had sort of like a low, gruffy voice and stuff like that. It was like I think she
I'm
did that.
like
And
a
she,
smoker.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, and I don't remember the name of the character that she played, but she did a little sample of her voice or that voice on the panel, and she even did a sample of Snow White's voice, and
Oh, that
I
must have
I
been so
love
fun.
it. Yeah, I love it when voice actors do that
Me
because
too.
yeah, because there's other conventions you can go to, and some of the celebrities are they're the people that moderate the panels. They're like, please don't ask them to do any impersonations or any character
Oh, that's
voices,
not
and I'm
fun.
like, aw, but what if they want to? That's no
Yeah.
fair.
Okay, I mean that's
So
like the magic of it. You want to see
yeah.
them in person.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is maybe because, if somebody's recording this, they don't want to get, busted by Disney or something like that for
Yeah,
saying stuff where people could post it online and, make it a YouTube video and make money off of it or something like that. Then we got copyright
something.
infringement stuff we're working with. So, but anyway,
But still,
so
yeah.
not only was she interested in adventurous ideas, but she was also interested in being a special guest on this show. So I'm gonna be
Yay!
very
Oh my
happy to
God, that's
see
so
her.
exciting.
Um, let's see. Jim Meskimen is another person who is was there, and I was able to meet. And this gentleman, and I have to look up his IMDb really quick. I had it on my screen already. Has done the voice of the genie from Aladdin. Not only in, I think, some of the sequels, but in maybe like series and also video games and stuff like that, where they needed him to fill in. I think he even did it when Robin Williams was still around, but just not able to fill the role of the genie at that particular time for whatever reason. So,
Yeah.
um, but if you guys actually get a chance to look up his accolades on IMDb, he has done a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff. Movies, television movies, television series, animated stuff, obviously, as a voice actor for not only Disney, but other stuff outside of Disney. And he's also an impersonator and also looks remarkably like Patrick Stewart, believe it or not.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't. It's just the way that he here. Let's see if I can. He kind of looks like Patrick Stewart with hair. Let's just put it that way.
Jason, was he the genie in the animated show that was out in the 90s?
He may have been. He
Because I
may
don't
have
think
been.
Robin Williams was that genie. I think Robin was too busy to be a genie in the show.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so I can kind of show you guys, those who are actually watching, what he actually looks like. Let's see. That's his picture right there. Do you see him?
No.
Do I have it up? No?
I see a search Optimus Prime.
Oh, that's weird. It's not showing. Am I on the wrong? I'm on the wrong one, darn it. Let's share the correct screen, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we? Here we go. How's that? Is that better?
He does look like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, and
Oh my
he's even kind
goodness.
of got like those shiny like small eyes with squinty eyes and that grin like Robin Williams has almost as
Yes, he
well.
does. Oh my goodness.
So he's done impersonations of Robin Williams before, and I actually follow him on TikTok. So it was a real pleasure to get to meet him and everything. And
Oh,
he said he would also love to be on the show. So I'll have to
oh,
schedule
Jason,
something for
that's
him. But
awesome.
I know it's so much, and I still got two more.
Did he do an impression for you in person at MouseCon?
He did not do any specific impressions, but I did actually get a chance to peek in on his panel where he was talking to the people in the audience. And I never even realized this until I actually heard him talking about her. But he is the son of Marion Ross, who was Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days.
Oh, I don't know that. I know the theme song, but I don't know the show too well.
Yeah. But yeah, Mrs. C was like, she's like she's one of the television moms from back in the day.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah. Oh, there's Patricia. Had to work late. See, I told you she was probably
Oh,
like running a
hi,
little bit late from
Patricia.
work. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I never even knew that, but he was talking about his mother, and I would love to have him on the show so he can even talk about that a little bit because
Oh, I love that.
he he holds her very near and dear to his heart, and she's still around. She's 96 years old,
Wow,
hanging in there and doing somewhat okay, I think, from what I understand. But
that's wonderful.
you can tell he's got a really tight bond with her and everything. So it was really neat to talk to
Wonderful.
him. Let's see. I also met a gentleman by the name of Joe Achman, who is the current voice for Jiminy Cricket for Disney. So anytime that they need his voice, he is the one that jumps in and puts his voice to good use on that. I know he does other voices as well. I want to say even for a particular Transformers cartoon here and there. But for Disney, that's his big claim to fame. And then, last but not least, and not in the least, the last person that I met was Blaine Weaver, and he is the voice of Peter Pan for Disney, the current voice for Peter Pan. And he says he can still do it too. I think he's about my age. It's funny because I act surprised when I said, "Really, you can still do the voice?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." And I was thinking to myself, I'm an idiot because I still do the voice of Peter Pan. And if we're the same age, like why if he can do it, why can't I, right?
Jason, do you mean he's the original Peter Pan from back in the original?
Yeah.
No, no. Okay.
No, that gentleman, I don't know if he's still even around at this point,
Of
but
course.
he yeah, maybe like any of the Neverland stuff or I know he did one he did a voice recently for like one of the rides somewhere in like Tokyo or something like that.
So cool.
And but he actually is doing a lot of like live action stuff, and I think he's also working on either producing or directing something that's coming out pretty soon as well. But if anybody's interested in that, they can just check his profile on IMDb. His name is Blaine Weaver, and he will eventually be on our show as well. Actually, also narrated a DVD for Jerry for Theme Parkology about Peter Pan that he was interviewed in. So
Oh,
we kind of
nice.
have that, 6 degrees of separation there. So,
Oh,
uh, and I think that's it. I'm exhausted from talking about all that. I feel like I've been doing so much talking.
that was great, Jason.
Uh, but next week we are going to be having Mr. Steve Wyatt on our show. And since I've been speaking so much about MouseCon, I've been asking him if he would mind being on our show. And Steve is actually the gentleman that runs MouseCon. He is the owner of it. He's the one
Oh,
that puts on all the shows in every different place, from Concord to Bakersfield, now to Salt Lake City. So
oh
we're
my
going to talk
goodness.
to him about his process, what he does to you know, to coordinate all of this stuff because it does definitely take a village, and he's got a team of people, and they are all super awesome people. I've met them all, and they are very nice. And I've never really done like a deep dive into like how this is all put together, and I think that'll be a lot of fun just to chit chat about all the stuff that he has to do. I can't imagine how much work
Yeah.
that is.
I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea because, I mean, millions of Disney fans. I mean,
Yeah.
I I was absolutely blown away by the one from 3 years ago. Like,
Oh yeah.
that
Absolutely.
was, oh, it
And
was
it's
so,
still about. Sorry.
oh no, it's just magical.
Yeah, and it's still about the same size. At least the one in Concord is. The one in Bakersfield is definitely a little bit bigger because a lot of the people that do vendor stuff from the Los Angeles area, the greater Los Angeles area, can come to Bakersfield.
Oh,
It's not too far away. Um, Now, the one in Salt Lake City, it was not that crowded, and I think I may have mentioned that in the last episode. But I mean, I should let me take that back. There wasn't as many vendors at the one in Salt Lake City, but the crowd was big. There was a lot of people there, and
oh,
they showed up to see, who was signing autographs and stuff like that. And there was huge crowds around almost every single table, and there was a lot of conversations going on. Unfortunately, not a lot of vendors to buy from, but they are already talking about new vendors for next year's show, I believe. So
it's
it's going to
awesome.
happen again, and hopefully it'll be even bigger the next time.
That's awesome. Jason, do you know if they're planning on like expanding it to other parts of the US, like maybe
I don't know.
Chicago? Something?
A little closer to where you are. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't really heard any more plans of expansion, but considering the fact that he's already branching out to other cities, at least on the West Coast, I see no reason
Yeah.
why there's not a possibility of branching out even further. But I just
Yeah.
don't know. But I mean, hey, save that question for next week because you'll be able to ask the man himself and he'll give you whatever answer he can give you.
I will definitely ask that. I would
Yeah.
100% drive to Chicago. It's only 4 hours away from me, so
Oh, that's not too
worth it.
bad.
Yeah.
That's about how long it takes me to get to Bakersfield from here. So,
Yeah, I mean, worth it to see people from Disney and have a
yeah.
conversation with them. Oh my God.
Are there ever any other Disney conventions like or just comic conventions in your area in general that you ever go to?
I actually don't, but I should look into it. I went to a Comic-Con back in 2010 and I got to speak with Spock, Leonard Nimoy, and my heart, this shoulder touched him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we took a picture with him. He was so sweet, and then we got to see Stanley speak. So we saw two legends before they passed away. It was like
Oh,
incredible.
Stan Lee. I thought you said Stanley, and I was like, Stanley who?
From The Office.
Yeah, no, I actually got to see Stan Lee at a convention as well
Oh, cool.
before he passed away as well. And it was probably like about maybe 4 or 5 years before he had passed, but it was
Oh,
neat to see him speak about everything. And
mhm.
he's such a crack up, and
So funny.
never got to meet Leonard Nimoy though. That's why I gasped because that would have been another great one to meet.
Yes. Oh, it was so cool, Jason. So it was in 2010 and it was at the cusp of everyone getting smartphones. And as
Oh,
Leonard was like half an hour into
so they're
his,
like this, watching like recording everything, right? I'm sure.
yes, and Leonard, he was like half an hour into his speech, and all of a
uh
sudden his phone rang and he pulled out a flip phone. Like he's this movie star. And he's like, hello? And he's like, it's my wife. And he's like, well, I'm kind of giving a speech here. And he put out his
Oh, I love it.
yeah.
I got to see a panel that had oh my gosh, who did it had did you ever watch The Next Generation at all?
I saw the
No?
old one with Rod. Yeah.
Okay. So William Frakes was the guy who played number two. He was Jean-Luc Picard's like first officer, I think.
Okay.
And even though he was called number two, he was the first officer. I never quite understood that. But anyway, um, he was there along with Nichelle Nichols, and Nichelle Nichols was the one who played the original Uhura from the original series and the
Oh,
Star Trek movies as well. So
very
they
cool.
both, yeah, they both got to talk, and man, did they have a lot of great stories. It was so neat to hear them just bounce stuff. And the crazy thing is that it was literally two different generations talking up there at the same time, and it
I
was so
love
fun to
that.
see. I think my cousin Adam and I went to that together. So that was, yeah, very small convention, and it was actually here in Oakland because
No
I
way.
think it was just sort of like a random thing where they had very small tables set up for people to sell things, and then it was mostly people just coming to see the panel for these two and maybe get an autograph or something like that.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, me too. I've kind of been loving re-engaging into the convention panel stuff again and just the convention
Yeah,
world because I forgot how much fun it is. Now you said you
absolutely.
went to a Comic Con. Was it like an actual Comic Con? They said it was like
Oh yeah.
something Comic Con. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was in Arizona. It was Phoenix.
Oh,
It was huge. We stood in line for like over an hour to get a pass, and there were like thousands of people there. It was enormous.
I went.
Yeah.
I think one of my well, not one of my very first ones, but like my first really big one was in San Diego, the big one that they have down there every year. And
Oh,
that is a huge. It's just like you said. It's it's like there's lines out the door. They have professional and amateur cosplayers alike. There's contests.
yes, there's so many.
And these ones are so big that other companies come and they set up their own areas at the convention itself, like Microsoft and sometimes Disney will even have their own place there or something like that.
Wow.
Or yeah, they're huge. And they'll give trailers for movies that haven't been released there for the very first time. They'll have actors there, that are like A-list actors, from all
That's
sorts of
cool.
different genres. It's always a blast. Oh wow, it's 7 o'clock already.
I know, I just saw the time, Jason.
Always goes by super quick. I
It
know I
does.
say that every episode, and I think I probably will continue to say it because it always
Please
happens.
do. Yeah.
It always happens that way. Well, this has been fun. I kind of wish we could talk about more stuff, but maybe we'll do that again later this month. I don't know. We'll
I
see.
want to too. Yep.
Yeah.
Always a great
So,
time.
just a quick recap on upcoming episodes. I think Steve, like I said, Steve is next week. And then what are the dates after that? I need to kind of take a look at my calendar. That's going to be on the 12th. We will probably have a show on the 19th and the 26th. And then for December, we will definitely have a show, but it probably will be just one show to finish off this particular season of Main Gate Magic. And then we will start 2025 with season 2. So,
Sounds good.
the Christmas episode, if I can pull it off, I have to get some technology and figure out how it's all going to work. But I have a friend, or a friend of Lisa's actually, that she used to work for, or work with, who is a huge Disney collectible person. She has her entire house, and I kid you not when I say her entire house, every single room has Disney stuff in it.
Oh my
Wall
gosh.
to wall to wall. And I have seen it in its normal state, but apparently during Christmas she pulls out even more decorations from the garage for
Oh
all
my
the
god.
Disney Christmas stuff as well. And she adds all that stuff to the collection. So I asked her if I could have her as a guest on my show one day. We'll go down to her house. We'll, have a microphone on her so we can hear her talk, and then
Oh
I'll
my
have a
gosh, how
microphone on
fun.
myself, and we'll just walk around the house, kind of touring and just taking a look at all the money that she spent over her years.
And hear stories about certain ones and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. It does. Alex knows because I think he's been there before. He says it changes in season. I think he's right. I think she changes it for other seasons as well. So, and Alex, you know who I'm talking about. It's Kathy. So, we will hopefully be doing an episode from there, and I think that would be a lot of fun to kind of tie up the end of year. So,
That would be perfect.
stay tuned and keep an eye on Facebook and YouTube, guys, for the upcoming episodes. I know I've been a little late posting the links for the next ones, but things have been super busy. But I'm getting back on track now. And always appreciate everybody who joins and comments and asks questions and engages with us. It's always so much fun. This is like one of my favorite things to do during the week. So thank you for being a big
Same.
part of that. And Leia, thank you, of course, for being on the show tonight
Oh,
and
my
being my good
pleasure.
friend and my Disney partner in crime. I
Mhm.
really appreciate all the stuff you do for our show as well.
Mm.
And for those of you who are not subscribing or liking or following, what you waiting for? This is what it's all about. This is all about bringing the Disney magic and the Disney fun. So if you like this show, make a comment. Tell us that you like it. If you have a suggestion for a future episode, tell us about it. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I have a link tree up on both Facebook and Instagram of all of those different sites. We are Main Gate Magic on every single one of those. There's nobody else that exists for Main Gate Magic except us. You see this
Hoorah.
big bright blue logo behind us here? Like, ooh, all this around here. See, like up here and over there and down here. That's us. You'll see that everywhere we are. So please tell your friends.
Jason, like the
Yeah.
genie, everywhere. Here, here, here.
The exits are here, they're here, they're here, they're here, they're everywhere.
Keep your hands inside.
Keep your hands and arms inside the carpet. We're out of here. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna close on the scene that happens right after. Well, not right after that, but when they get to the little oasis, and Genie and Aladdin start talking about making the wishes.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing Magic Carpet for all your travel needs. Please don't stand until the rug has come to a complete stop. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How's that, Mr. Doubting Mustafa?
That's right. All right, we're going to end it on that. I think I've embarrassed myself enough for the evening. Thanks again for everybody who joined, and thanks for tuning in one more time. We'll see you all next week. Take care.
Bye, guys.
And we are... think we're clear. I don't know.
Are they
Are we
done?
still streaming?
Bye-bye.
No, it's still live.
Bye-bye.
I hit in stream. Bye-bye. An error occurred. Wait a moment. We're still recording.